Welcome to Toddie's Toronto Island. Today's episode is going to be about the comparison to childhood expectations versus the reality of what life does. So recently I've been feeling in this kind of rut where it's like things that I grew up not liking about other people are things that I'm starting to see in myself. Like a big thing that I've always hated growing up, or I hated growing up, was tardiness or excuses or missing things that were expected of you. And then I realized that there's not enough time in the day. There's not enough, time to be you before you have to be you for somebody else, if that makes any sense. It's like, obviously everybody would love to be on time. Everybody would love to kind of just figure out a perfect way to be everywhere they need to be at the exact moment they need to be there. But when you think about it, say it's a Tuesday, right? And you're like, all right, today I have to be somewhere at 6:30. I'm going to finish up work, leave work a little bit early, go home, try to grab a quick meal, try to grab a quick drink, hydration drink, not alcohol drink, you fucking animals, and just be like, all right, then I'll be there at 6:30. But where in that time frame do you have time to sit down with yourself? Like, where in that time did you have time to sit down and be you? You know what I mean? And that's where I'm struggling. It's like I'm trying to step into that next phase where I get to be myself and find things that help me be myself. And it's really difficult to find those hobbies and then still feel like I'm taking time to self-reflect. So that's what I want to talk about. So the title of this episode is really just going to be through my child eyes, kind of like a dramatic way of saying nobody, and I really authentically mean this, I feel like nobody could look at themselves from their child perspective and be 100% happy, because there's so many sides to being yourself. There's just so much to self-discovery that people don't take into whatever the fuck the word is, take into mind when they are actually doing it. Like when I started my self-discovery phase, and I was just trying to figure out who am I, what do I want, where do I want to be. It started off with my mind. My mind was a hot mess. I was anxiety ridden. I feel like I couldn't do anything. I wasn't living for myself. I just felt all these things. So it started there with figuring out and settling all the thoughts, all the anger, all the pity, all the everything that was just boiling up, and figuring out how to take each part of that and settle it, because you can't solve it all at once. You have to settle it down, and you have to figure out where you can start to resolve those things, so the boiling pot just feels like it's easing down and the burner's getting turned slower to zero. And that's where I had to start. And I didn't take into effect that, oh shit, I'm gonna figure out things about myself that I don't like, and I'm either going to have to figure it out and deal with it, or I'm gonna have to figure it out and get rid of it. Because growing up from, being raised by so many different people, and, mother, father, aunts, uncles, cousins, sisters, brothers, grandparents, there's so many thoughts and ideas that get put upon you. And while they're not all bad and they're not all, terrible or negative, those may not be your actual thoughts. So it's something that I've always I think I've always been authentically myself in a sense, but in that there was a lot of mixed emotions and mixed mindsets that weren't authentically me. if that makes any sense. So to kind of get started in our first segment, I think what I really want to start with asking myself is, how do you do self-discovery with also reflecting at the same time? Because it's easy to point things out, but it's difficult to actually deal with them. So like I said, when you're dealing with that boiling pot, you have to figure out what's causing it to kind of boil over and point them out. So I would say growing up, there was always the mindset of, it's okay to be gay, but it's not okay to be flamboyant. So when I was in college and I started to really just be like, fuck it, I don't care. I love to wear kind of like crop tops, tight pants, like those things that are like a little bit more flamboyant, but not like crazy, because there can still be masculine ways of doing it. But I wasn't thinking of the masculine ways. I was just thinking of self-expression in a way that made me feel sexy and comfortable. And when doing those things, it was like, was I rebelling in my own way of, I'm gonna be flamboyant in my own way, but I'm gonna make sure to still not be too flamboyant? And it was like, your sexuality and identity can be two separate things. And while I still love to, wear a little tight shirt, wear a little crop top, show off my arms, show off my legs, show off my fat, juicy, voluptuous ass, there's more to that. There's more to it than just visual. And the comfortability of oneself has to come from inner before outwards even remotely matters. So it's like, when I was doing those things and I was kind of, just doing it to say, this is self-discovery because I'm just doing it to do it. No, I wouldn't say it was, because I was really just trying to figure out what I wanted and who I was. And was it a trial by error to figure out, do I like doing this? Do I like doing that? Do I like filling in my eyebrows? Do I like shaving my eyebrows? Do I want to wear makeup? Do I want to do those things? Or do I think I have to do those things to be gay? And I think the reason and the way I was actually able to do self-discovery and to self-reflect was by journaling. I think that was a way to, every time I would then get tensed up or I would start to feel the anxiety, I would try to find a song that really resonated with what I was actually feeling and kind of like spoke to my soul in that moment, and see if anything would come back, any memories, any specific person, anything that really felt tied to why I was getting that anxiety moment. And that helped me realize in each phase that I was going through, okay, you're bringing up all this shit, you're trying to find out who you are, and you're trying to do all these different things that kind of bring you out of your shell. Let's figure out if this is the right route, or if there's anything you can get answered from this rebellion, I would say. So that's kind of how I really found my happy medium of doing the self-discovery and making sure that I'm reflecting on it at the same time, and not just like calling self-discovery being a whore. And one thing I always love to kind of do when I'm journaling and I'm doing those kind of things is I love to talk in different perspectives. Like, sometimes I'll start off with, this is exactly it. Like, I feel this, 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 I feel this. I'm doing this and I don't like this, I'm doing this and I don't like this. And then I would move over to devil's advocate. Explain why this is a feeling. Explain why this feeling is normal. Because again, the only person that's going to be able to pull you out of certain ruts or to pull you out of a certain mindset is yourself. While people can keep you accountable, you're the one that actually makes a decision about what is needed for you and what is best for you. So like today, I wrote, today is November 2nd. I've been feeling very stuck. I feel like I am losing myself and unsure where I am supposed to be. What I am doing or what I want, I feel like I'm becoming the person I didn't like as a kid. I want to find serenity again in both myself and in life. I don't want to be unsure, but I know nobody does. And after that I said, like I just spoke about, devil's advocate. Nobody can live up to childhood expectations or characteristics that they thought were ideal or perfect, because life is filled with so many beautiful things, and I hate that like sometimes when I get in the flow of talking about life, I get it in a negative aspect. Because there are so many positive things of it, but there is the reality of it all. Like when I say nobody can look from their childhood perspective and be like, oh my God, you're so fantastic. I think childhood me would be so happy to see all the things I've accomplished, but he would be like, so you're like that now, or so you're like this now, so you do that, and it would be like, yeah, I do, because I had to live and learn. Not everything's going to be perfect. Not everything is going to be the same or going to be, a straight line of just, I want it to be this way, so I'm going to do this throughout my life to get here to this certain point. No, there's going to be bumps, there's going to be whines, there's going to be all sorts of things that kind of fuck that up. And I was just really thinking, we have to prepare ourselves and prepare our children to be people we don't like at points in time. Because every single human being is innately different, completely different. And they're raised by people that, again, are completely different. And then they grow up and they have those mindsets that don't work for them as people, as an individual. So when they grow up and they start to figure out who they are and what they like and what they actually want to do, and start living their lives for themselves and not for others, they're going to see things and do things that are not natural, but actually are. That feel unnatural, but are actually very natural. And I think that's just something I really wanted to talk about on the podcast, because I think this podcast is really, again, a place for, relatability, for, somebody to just be like, facts. It really is just something for the next person to just be like, people deal with that too. People have that negative sense of self sometimes as well, and yes, it's so fucking normal. It's so fucking normal to be like, why am I here? What am I doing? What is next? Where does this mind-numbing, insecurity of, am I in the right place? Am I in the right body? Sort of mindset. It's just, I've done so many things in my life that I feel like have been so fantastic, but I'm constantly thinking I'm doing the wrong thing. And I feel like I make decisions out of comfortability instead of out of actual desire. But then I look back at it and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I've literally done things because I just wanted to, because I don't care what other people think. So it's like, why is my brain telling me that I'm insecure when my actions and my physical presence are so opposite of that? And that's what's so hard to think. Like, it's the perspective. Like, what me and Tim are talking about, like her perspective on me versus my perspective on myself, are two opposite things. And I just want to be able to see myself how other people see me, because I don't see that all the time. And it's really difficult to keep doing things and motivating myself to be so confident in my brain. And it's like my body and my brain are not connected. And I think that's my fucking problem. That's it right there. I need to connect my body and my brain. My body naturally moves. It naturally does things. My mouth naturally says shit it's not supposed to, or it naturally says things that I want to say, but my brain's telling me I shouldn't. And if my body matches my brain, bitch, done for. But if my brain matches my body, stuck. Maybe I said that backwards, but I hope you know what I mean. Like, it's just like, I feel like I'm overthinking 24/7, and then naturally I just make the decision to say fuck it. And that can be a good thing and a bad thing, because some things that I actually need to do or should do for like the betterment of myself and my own mindset, I'll say fuck it, and my body will be like, I don't want to get up, so I'm gonna stay down. Or I should not do something, my body wants to do something, so I do it. It's like it's so hard to explain. It really is. My next question to myself is going to be, what does a rut mean? A rut for me, in the sense of my own personal journey, is going to be the sense of feeling stuck. And I don't think like stuck, for some people it's like they're stuck and they don't know where their journey begins. I think that's for some people, but for me it always feels like I'm on the journey, I'm on the road, and like a tire gets stuck or I get stuck in mud. Like, that's what a rut feels like to me. It feels like I'm already on the road, I'm already on the path I'm supposed to be on, but then I'm stuck. I'm stuck right there. I'm already in motion, but then I'm stuck. It's like you know, in those cartoons where like something's running and it's just like holding them back? That's what it feels like sometimes. I literally feel like when I was talking to Tamara and when I just like did that little metaphor thing, I constantly feel like I'm being held back. Whether it's, you know, when I'm out by myself and I feel like I can't speak, my tongue's being held from the back, or when I want to figure out what is next for me, I feel like I'm being held back. And fun fact, nobody's holding me back but myself. So a rut is really just my own thoughts paralyzing myself. That's what it means to me. I feel like I have always been able to find the journey and the path that I want to go on, and have always found ways to execute it. But then when I get on the path, I stop myself. I put myself in ruts. I put myself in a place where I cannot keep moving, because I cannot connect my body and my mind. My next question for myself is, how do you overcome mediocrity? I wrote that down because I've never felt mediocre. I feel like I've always been confident in a way where I felt very good. I felt very great. I felt like I, you know, find ways to be good at things. Like, I'm able to figure out what I like and excel in that. But in that sense, when I know I'm good at something, again, I put myself in a rut where I don't allow myself to excel or do better by pushing myself to the next step. So maybe that is my sense of mediocrity, if that's exactly what it means. And I think the best way out of mediocrity is just punching yourself in the dick or cooter cat and going for it. Like, again, I wrote in my journal before this, there is no hovering angel making shit shake. I believe that the being over me are just guides and, you know, signs and things to show me this is what you should, this is what you're looking for, this is the route to take, this is going to get you to the next step. But they're not making those decisions for me, I'm making those decisions for myself. So you really have to listen to what you're asking for from the universe, from your God, from whatever, and do it. You can't ask for signs, you can't believe in signs if you're not going to take them, because then they disappear. When is the tipping point? And where do I go next? Again, signs are everywhere. If you're a person that believes in signs and asks for them, it's everywhere. Literally, like it's everywhere. You just have to look at it. You just have to recognize it. You just have to allow it to recognize you. And the tipping point is when you're done. Like you're done being stuck. The tipping point is when you're done allowing things to pass you by. There's been so many times when I have fought to make decisions that I knew were right, that I knew I should have just done, but I couldn't. I couldn't. Whether it's out of me trying to be a good person, whether it's me trying to think about the next person. And then I end up so frustrated and angry, and again boiling over, because I'm asking for signs, I'm asking for, the next journey, I'm asking for all these things, but then I allow myself to get stuck. The tipping point is like, why am I still here? Me. I'm done. Boom. I'm gonna make the decision that I should have made forever ago. The tipping point is when you're fed up. That's a tipping point. There is only one person responsible for my greatness, and it's me. While there could be someone down the road that offers me some great opportunity, while there's something that could come my way, me making that decision is on me. Me earning that opportunity is on me. One thing that takes me into is like people that ask for raises and ask for things that they believe they're deserving of. You have to do extra to be deserving, in my mindset. Some people might not agree with that. You have to be the person that deserves that raise or deserves that gift before you can get it. Nothing is just sprung upon you. There's ways to be blessed, I would guess, but again, you have to do the work before you can even get it, before you can even deserve it, before it is actually something that you are worthy of. And I think holding yourself accountable by looking through your child eyes is a way to make sure that you're looking back on the journey and then asking yourself questions on why you're like this or why you're doing this, because that's something that you never wanted to do or never wanted to be. And again, my thing is not that dramatic. Like, it literally is just, I hate tardiness, I hate excuses, I hate rescheduling, and now that's all I fucking do. All I do. So, I'm going to prepare to go to the gym and be on time and continue asking myself through my childhood goggles, is that a decision I should make? Is it a decision that I am forcing myself to make, or is it a decision that life has chosen for me? And are those decisions necessary. Well, this was Toddie's Trauma Island, and today we talked about things that are not always super easy and that a lot of people don't have the answers to. So when you're self-reflecting and you're self-discovering, know that you hold the answer within yourself. You just have to admit it. And that child version of yourself, that memory that you hold on to, would be proud of you. But some things do have to be explained, that life kicked your fucking ass. So I'll see you on the next episode when we talk about, does anybody really know the answer to it? Or why the fuck is it like that? But one thing you can hold on to is that you're probably hot, so